Chainsaws were invented as a medical device, specifically a medical device to be used during childbirth. As a woman, that is traumatizing. But it gets worse. Keep in mind that through most of history, C-sections were not an option. They were only used if the mother was already deceased, and really they only became commonplace in the 1950s and 60s. And whenever women were in childbirth and the baby would be too large, be stuck in the pelvis, or be breech, they had to do something to try to save the mother and the child. And they didn't really have a whole lot of options. So what they would do would be to cut into the woman's pubic bone or her pelvis to alleviate that. And keep in mind, they did not have the medical tools that we have today. They also did not have anesthesia. Ugh. So they were going through all that sober. Yeah. No, thank you. And that's where the chainsaw comes in. In the 1780s, doctors invented a small chainsaw that was worked by hand around the chain. And it was to be used to replace the typical knives that were used to cut into a woman's pubic bone. Obviously, you can imagine how cutting through a bone would be with a steak knife. It was messy and a grisly process, and so the chainsaw alleviated that to some degree. And people realized how effective it was and the fact that it could literally saw through everything. And that's why they started making it bigger and bigger, and it became to be used for all kinds of different purposes. But yeah, as a woman now, I'm very happy that I'm on an effective form of birth control and that I live during the modern era. Ugh. So if I have to know this, the rest of you do.